So I'm outside the Churchill Theatre in Morningside, and being shown here tonight is Jesus Christ Superstar with a transgender, non-binary Jesus. We've been out here tonight and we've been asking people, what do they think of the gender reform bill? This is some reaction that we got.
I am so excited to see this one. I have always wanted to see it, kind of so many things without like kind of gender, with things to do with gender. I think this one, it doesn't really matter with the story what gender they are. I don't think there's a lot of things where it is crucial to the story what gender they are.
You heard of the gender reform bill?
Yeah, so from what I know, when it was talked about in Scotland, they were talking about that it would make it easier to change it on your birth certificate and things like that. So you basically wouldn't have to be to go to loads of meetings and things like that to prove that you're like clinically sick to change your gender, whereas now it would be a lot easier. And then it went down to London, and they have kind of stopped in its tracks.
And what do you think of that?
I think that's disgusting. Yeah. I think no one should have to prove that they are medically sick to be who they truly are.
And what is conversion therapy?
It's horrendous.
Okay.
So there were obviously back Alan Turing? Is that Alan Turing? There we go. He was medically castrated, wasn't he? Mm-hmm. And that was kind of part of conversion therapy. I basically just think let everyone be who they want to be. They know what's best for them. If they need guidance, then do that in a supportive way.
Yeah. And do you know what conversion therapy includes? What do you think of when you hear the term conversion therapy?
I don't know a lot of what is involved. Yeah. I believe there's a lot of like counselling, but I don't know how biased it is. Obviously, they are kind of biased in some way because they want to change how someone is. But I don't know a lot about it and what they do, no.
And do you think that if there's a ban, it should be for everything in terms of, like, obviously things like chemical castration and, these kind of things, but do you think also for counselling?
I think counselling should be available for everyone, but I think it should be unbiased. Okay. And kind of get to like a root of a problem rather than already deciding what that problem is with that person.
This is what the current working group says. They say, the group recommends that the definition of conversion therapy practices must apply equally to sexual orientation, expression of sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expression, and it must be wide enough to encompass any treatment, practice, or effort that aims to change, suppress, and/or eliminate a person's orientation, expression of sexual orientation, gender identity, and/or expression. And it says the group believes that where the perpetrator has parental guardianship rights in relation to the victim, the legal consequences ought to include the modification or withdrawal of such rights. So it's basically saying that children should be taken away from parents, and the therapy could include anything which was, would be anything that was not going along basically with what the child said that their gender was. So if the child says, I believe I'm a boy, and they've been brought up as a girl, and the parents say, are you sure about that? I don't think you are. Then that could fall into that category. What do you think of that?
I think some of the wording is quite distressing. The fact that they call it like a criminal act, I think is incorrect. I think, again, if someone comes to you and says, I don't think I am what I was born as, then give them support, give them the if they need counselling, therapy, if they need to come to that decision by themselves, with including the parents as well, to kind of all come to it in a nice way would be great.
Yeah.
Okay. We need to get going.
Okay, thank you very much.
No worries.
Thanks.